A Quezon City court yesterday concluded what some had been calling the trial of the century or the Maguindanao massacre case. But we begin tonight with what may yet turn out to be a new trial. Counsels of the victims of the massacre say they plan to file charges against at least 50 more people who were also involved in the massacre, or at least in its cover-up. Here's the report.
A head start. This is how the Council of Maguindanao Massacre Victims, Attorney Nena Santos, sees the guilty verdict imposed by the court yesterday. And even if the primary accused appeals the court's decision, Santos is confident they're already a few steps ahead.
Tinitingnan lang kung tama ba yung ginawang desisyon ng huwes base doon sa facts at saka base doon sa evidence.
Should the case reach the Supreme Court, Santos hopes the magistrates would put up a special division to expedite the review. On top of this, the council has also prepared a separate petition against 50 more cohorts in the massacre. These include lawyers and political allies who allegedly covered up the crime. But for the legal counsel, it was a disappointment that Maguindanao OIC Governor Sajid Ampatuan was acquitted.
Siya ang governor. Ang tanong dyan, kung governor ka, alam mo yung plano, bakit hindi ka man lang tumawag kay presidente o sa chief of police o sa chief ng armed forces para mapigilan yung carnage na to?
Witnesses attested to Sajid's involvement in the planning, but no sufficient evidence could link him to the actual killings. With this, the least they could do is to treat Sajid as a third-class accused, or those who knew the plan but did not participate directly to the crime. As for Maguindanao Representative Toto Mangudadatu, he also has his fair share of evidence linking Sajid to the crime.
Ang atin namang hinahanap yung mga kabulastugang ginawa nila. Not for myself, but that's for the people. It's really hard to tell before the people na ako lang ang naghahanap. Ang taong bayan ang naghahanap ngayon sa kanyang dapat niya pagbayaran.
Meanwhile, families of victims say acquitted police officers should not be allowed to return to service. With 80 suspects still at large, they have one request to the police bureau: arrest them.
I think I'm more in danger now than was before. Dahil po, siyempre yung mga na-convict, baka mag-retaliate, may vengeance. Tapos, yung mga ipahuhuli pa na 80, nandun na naman yung threat.
And just a quick look at the verdict handed down by Judge Jocelyn Solis Reyes on the Maguindanao case. While principally accused Ampatuans were convicted, many were surprised that out of 101 suspects, majority were acquitted. Let's tackle first those who were found guilty and were meted with reclusion perpetua or 40 years imprisonment. Judge Reyes says witnesses who testified about the planning meetings held by the Ampatuan family in July and November 2009 were credible and believable. In fact, the stories of various witnesses corroborated each other. On the other hand, Judge Reyes threw out the alibi presented by Andal Ampatuan Jr. that he was not at the scene of the crime but presiding over a meeting at the town hall of Datu Unsay. The judge says that Andal Jr. only presented a photocopy of the minutes of the meeting and ruled that this evidence is weak and easily faked. But why were Sajid Islam Ampatuan and Ahmad Tato Ampatuan acquitted? The two Ampatuans were present at the final November meeting before the killing. But that, says Judge Reyes, does not equate to direct involvement in the massacre. She says the prosecution failed to provide proof beyond reasonable doubt. They were not in the massacre site as well. Many of the suspects acquitted were members of the Philippine National Police. 15 were charged with being accessory to the crime because they covered up the kidnapping. 50 were acquitted because they were manning checkpoints and probably not aware that a kidnapping had taken place. Now, what will happen to Reynaldo Bebot Momay's case? Of course, Bebot Momay is the 58th victim of the massacre. The court says there should be a corpus delicti or body of the crime. And no, that does not mean there has to be a physical body, but that would certainly help. What is needed is clear evidence of the killing and the one responsible for it. The judge cited the rule in criminal evidence which states that there should be a cadaver recovered or at least clear proof of death. In the end, the court says the prosecution failed to prove that Reynaldo Bebot Momay is dead and that the Ampatuans were responsible for his death.
Hours after Judge Jocelyn Solis Reyes rendered her verdict on the Maguindanao massacre case, those acquitted were released one by one. They were detained for a decade at Camp Bagong Diwa in Bicutan, Taguig. And now, relatives wait patiently outside for their release.
Anong plano niyo, sir? Babalik po ba kayo sa serbisyo? No comment muna, no comment.
Masarap ang pakiramdam kaya nakalaya kami, kaya wala kami kasalanan.
56 defendants were acquitted in the case. 36 of them are police officers, half of which are on leave. They may return to full duty status anytime, but they won't receive any back pay for the time served in prison.
Subalit, naroon pa rin sa kanila ang option kung nais na nilang umalis sa serbisyo.
The other half, meanwhile, have been dismissed from service over administrative cases, which they may appeal at the National Police Commission. But the Philippine National Police says chances of reinstatement are slim. The Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, meanwhile, clarifies not all those acquitted may be released just yet. 4 of them have other pending cases.
Or until the court give its final judgment. Until then, they will remain under the custody of the BJMP.
BJMP stresses all the records have to be reviewed carefully.
Gusto natin masiguro na paglaya nila, wala sila magiging problema din.
For now, PNP is on the hunt for the 80 accused who are still at large. For News 5, Patricia Mangune. We are One News.
Among those acquitted are 4 members of the Ampatuan clan who were deemed innocent due to the lack of evidence. Now, while lauding the guilty ruling for some, a member of the Ampatuan clan says they will appeal for the release of the other members of their family.
Verdict na yun. Okay. Mga abogado kasi yung gumagawa nun.
Tanggap niya.
Tanggap na. Pero kung sagrado pa, mga 80%. Kasi yung iba dyan, Ampatuan, walang kasalanan. Alam ng lahat.
For Norodi, not all of the Ampatuans were involved in the massacre. He explains that some of them were or had been dragged into the gruesome case just because of the name they carry.
Lahat ng Ampatuan, kinakasuhan, inilista yung mga pangalan. Kaya dumami yung pamilya Ampatuan. Maski walang kaso, nadamay. Pati mga bata, nadami rin. Mga babae, nadami rin.